Do I look tired? No, not at all. Hey y'all, welcome. I'm Tracy, and this is my channel, Tracy from the Mermaid Coast. It took me a second to pull it together, but I did. And hey, my heart is grateful for my sense of humor. Because y'all, if you can't laugh at yourself, yeah, that's a hard life, y'all. That's a hard life. Whew, I am not sleeping well. I don't know why I keep waking up. I mean, I don't know. I'm so excited. I'm going to start my new drug tomorrow for my brain. And if I'm just so hopeful that this works well. And yeah. But I'm also thinking about starting my day with a grateful heart, y'all. My friend Kenny, I think I've told this story before, but I'm happy to tell this story again. My mom and I were renting a little condo, and the landlord's husband was not her favorite. So the washing machine broke, and I asked somebody from who works in heating, air conditioning at the library, who helps me, Bill and Eddie Jr., and that's the story right there. But so they sent Kenny. And you know, it was interesting. Kenny and my mom and Kenny and I are pretty much around the same age. I don't know exactly, but around the same age, I think. But Kenny and I, and my mother, it was like meeting a soul friend. Like, it was just so amazing and instantaneous. And Kenny is truly one of the best souls I've ever met. I feel like crying. I'm just tired. So, you know, he's on this huge project. And actually, this is his shirt, Take Pride, Home Services. I'm wearing it today because I'm finishing up my secret project. And I feel like this shirt gives me superpowers. It's funny. I said, Kenny, I want one of your shirts. It is like a little too big, but that's fine. That's fine. So, yesterday, you know, things just happen, right? That's life. Whack-a-mole. Had my air conditioning heating. You got someone here to fix. A lovely person. Yesterday, a man came over to help me fix my dishwasher. Another wonderful person. I mean, we were talking about Kenny, and he said, really, truly, he's not met many people in his life like Kenny. Like, you know. And Kenny, you know, works in home improvement and stuff. There's nothing he can't do. And if he can't, then he gets somebody really good to do it. But, you know, I can remember we were having a talk, and, you know, Frederick's not an expense. It's not, I don't know. But when you go like where I work or closer to DC, there's some very expensive areas. And you know what? He charges the exact same money there as he would for someone in another area. Like, it's not about gouging people. It's not about money. It's about fair pay for what he does. But it's just an interesting person. He always makes me want to be a better person. And I that's always good to have people like that around you, right? I read this quote. It says, hey, be with people who feel like sunshine. Wow. Okay. I got sunshine on a cloudy day. Gotta be your own sunshine. So I am full gratitude, and my dishwasher works. But last night I come home and I'm chilling out a little bit, looking at a book. I have to return and spend a little time. And I hear a tweak. Beep! That's the horrible sound. I'm like, no. That's the sound the damn carbon monoxide thingy starts to make. And I thought, you are kidding me. And they're all really high. And I just can't be up on a ladder like that. I have a little bit, well, I just have balance issues. I don't really have balance like an old person has balance issues, but I have clumsiness issues my whole life. So I thought, no. So I texted Kenny. I'm like, no. But anyway, I said, I just want to buy new ones. I want everything. He doesn't know it's a battery. So he told me what batteries to get. And then the man who came over yesterday, his name is Caesar. He does all kinds of things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to order these batteries. I'm going to talk to Caesar and say, hey, when figure out time, you can come over and just change every battery. every battery. And then I want to know exactly like how long he thinks these will last. And then I'm gonna have him come over a month before that happens and have all the batteries changed. Cause you know, I have a roommate, she's not going here tweaking, they. So I gotta order these batteries. I gotta check and see if I have them first. But yeah, so, and yeah. So it's my day off, because technically Friday's my day off. And because we're closed, you get another day off. So 2 days off. But today's my working day. And then tomorrow's my fun day. My relaxing day. Like literally, other than if I want to do art, I'm not doing one thing that accomplishes anything. I'm going to have the whole day off. And then, you know, when I'm home, I'm going to read. I got a DVD to watch, that kind of thing. I'm just going to have a relaxed day and enjoy my friends. And walk around the lovely city of Frederick. So this class I'm taking, Wanderlust, it starts in January, I said, and, oh, here. So there's another class, I think I've talked about this, y'all. You're just going to have to bear with me. But I would be, you know, anyway, called Fodder School, and they started, and I was feeling a little jealous, and like, not that I need projects this second, but so I went on the Wanderlust website. I say, you know, and they had this woman, Cassia. You should check out her website anyway. But her, she has a book, which I got from the library. But so I found a notebook, y'all. Yes, I didn't have to go far to find a notebook. This is actually in the garage. But it's Wanderlust. So she has all these things you can do. And so one, print out the schedule, print out a progress sheet so you can check off what you do. Some of the creators have donated a bunch of ephemera you can print out. Look how beautiful, y'all. Sorry. Look how beautiful that is, right? 3 different, so far, instructors. But what's nice about this is they don't want you to buy anything. They're like, we're going to give you, if you're new and starting, don't run out and buy a bunch of crap. Put it in your journal and it's going to help you. So, because I choose, I don't know. It's just like, it's something I want to learn, right? And I took a colors class once at a conference, and you take so many classes, there's so much energy, there's so much going on that by the time I got to this class, I was tired and I was terrible at it. So, so yeah, shockingly, my first time trying to color mix, it wasn't that great, right? But, so therefore I hate, you know, no. Anyway, so I'm going to work on that. I'm excited that this next year is going to be about me and the color wheel becoming one. And really being deliberate about it. And then let me show you this. So this was up, I had this whole big thing of stamps. And I can't remember if I posted about it or not, y'all. But look at this. So I went to move my camera down to show you my stamps, and I turned it off. So, good morning. Anyway, so these are like postage stamps, right? Used. Okay, so this is not going to be helpful. So I'm just going to show y'all. Let me see. This is annoying. I think I need the one tripod just to be like set like this. See, I don't even know. It's supposed to tighten. Y'all, never mind. I got to work on these tripods. Watch a video. Anyway, so there's all these cool, and so I separated them. Like this is flora and some birds and just different things. Like this guy is going to go on something like in a picture of water, real water. But yeah, so I want to put these in some container with a lid. But how fun is that? You know, I got this huge bag. My mom found it in a Goodwill. She was so excited. I think she had gone by herself because sometimes I just refuse to go. And so she found it. She was very excited. It was quite the find. And I found it in a garage this summer when we were dealing with the Mises. So yeah. But so it seems to work better for me right now that I don't have the pressure of like, okay, you have to finish this, right? But having, books is one thing, like making my books, but that's a whole nother feeling than creating. But I'm really getting the message, and part of this is this Louise Fletcher woman on YouTube, Louise, Louise Fletcher. And if you guys are all interested really in this, even beginning, but you think, yeah, this is something I might like, go on Wunderlist and check it out. I mean, the price is $99 for 49 different classes. And already just the ephemera, and so you don't even need to have a bunch of stuff. You really don't. You might need to buy a journal, a visual journal, and they talk about which one she uses. But honest to God, it does not have to be a big deal. And that's the point of this. It's really not your supplies. It's about the moment and the creating and the playing, right? Even everyone's creative. You just are, right? It's just the human natureness of it. I mean, if you believe you're not, then that's another story. But like I believe that the color mixing's too hard for me, and then I've shied away from it because I truly don't like to be bad at things until I get good. But that was then, this is now, and I'm willing to work on that judgment and like to let that go. How can it be bad if I'm doing it? That's it's just doing it is the point. But anyway, Louise Fletcher is an amazing teacher and very interesting person. And she does mixed media. She does like big, huge things. But she's like, you're an artist. Like, doesn't matter if you sell one thing in your life, I mean, there's just all these weird things we interpret. But anyway. So, yeah. So really, I am starting to, let's say, like out of 100, I was at 25. Like 75% was judgment, and it was stopping me. I'm going to tell you, I'm at a good 60%. Truly, good 60%. So another 40 to go. But I think this year and this whole year is set up to help you with that. And, Louise Fletcher is just like create. The minute you're thinking of the end result is when you lose it. That's not authentic. And she said when she started really painting authentically, like not caring about the end result and really exploring the marks and how the paint worked, it changed. And she started selling like crazy. So, it just seems to be the message. And I think that's amazing. And so you can print out ephemera. So you don't even have to go buy stuff. You could probably even like go to Goodwill and places like that. You'd be surprised what you find. And you do not have to have whatever, Of course, the minute you see a teacher, you want their glue. You want the journal they're working in. It's a fight to get past that. There is one that she has I really like. I don't need it now. I'll put it on my list. Maybe Beverly will get it for me. Yeah, I'm going to sign up for this Buy Me a Cup of Coffee, though. Really, I want to buy a can of food for Clara. Yeah, I just don't know how to do it. I got to work on that. So, yeah, so that's what's happening. But my studio, I have the clock in here set than what it was, 7:28. It says 8:28. So I'm trying to plan my day with y'all so I have a focus, right? It's so important to me. And what I do with you guys has helped me so much. And then it's so funny because sometimes I will go like at lunch and look at what I said. Not always, but like, wow, you didn't write that down. Let's write that down. Does that make sense now? And I just shift. Like I'm going to upload a talk I gave about Trader Joe's because I don't want to go through all that again. But I was going yesterday and then, Kenny texted me and said, hey, my friend's coming, this morning. So I just got dressed and, so I ran out of time. So I was actually late to work. So Saturday morning that I will post that. But yeah, so my studio. I'm doing such a phenomenal job, y'all. I'm really, like Beverly says, considering what you feel you're going through, I've made such strides. And the difference is, and I know a couple of y'all had said, you OGs, like, I started, was it you, Barb or Linda? I mean, I started one room and finished that before I go to another room. Like, yeah, right? That makes sense. It's like you unload the dishes, clean the sink, but okay, I'm not going to do anything else. I'm going to go in here. But it is the nature of my brain, right? But I'm learning to tolerate the fact that it sometimes looks like not much has been done, right? And like my goal by the end of Monday is to have my kitchen, everything that shouldn't be in here, removed. That's a big goal for me. But so in the studio, so one thing on my list today is the library. So where I'm going, when my one friend's picking me up, Sandy's picking me up tomorrow. We're going to Michelle's house, and near Michelle's house there is a my friend Cindy's meeting us. There's a Goodwill. So I'm going to talk to Sandy. She can come in like 10 minutes early. We can just run there. So I would like to have 2 to 3 boxes to take to the Goodwill, and my tchotchkes and stuff like that just gone. Boom. So therefore I need to spend an hour in my library doing that. So that's something I want to do. And I was going to start this a top a day kind of thing. But I think what I'm going to do, instead of having in my head, like, okay, every day in November, because that's just not working for me. So I don't know why I do that. But just start the project. This is for the top, you know, because I really do want to go through and let go of clothes. And so, okay. So first thing I'm going to do, once I do that in the library, I'm not sure how I'm going to do it. But that, maybe I will do that early, because that I really want to have done. And one of the biggest things I've started is my foyer is not a storage facility. It's a landing pad, and something can go there, but it's not going there for more than 48 hours, right? I'm really working on this. So like right now, there's a bag of stuff to come up, and I know what I want to do. I have my tier tray out. So I want to do a little, and get out some of my Thanksgiving stuff, and go through that with you guys. And then I need to put away the Halloween. But there's this place I put it. I want us to clutter that too. I don't know. If I had time for that today, that would be good, because I could get rid of that stuff. So we'll see. My brain always wants to do so much. So anyway, my studio, like you walk in here, right? So over here against this wall is my bed full of stuff. I'm going to bring I have a big Santa Claus, and I have a friend I'd like to give it to. Because I love it, but I think it belongs to the family with little kids, and she has grandchildren. And he's really special. So it's going to be so busy between now and Christmas. I don't know how. I mean, she lives in Richmond-ish area. It'd be a 3.5 hour drive. So I'm not sure I'm up for that, but we'll see. But she's the best food. She would load me up with food I can bring home. So anyway, so he's coming up, but I have all kinds of stuff on there. So what I want to do is take everything off, make the bed flat. Like things are like precariously leaning on things. And I know not to do that, but somehow. And there's a bookcase here that my dad made full of, I took a bunch of books off to look at. So I'd like to put them all back there. And then I have against this wall is all this really cool plastic shelving. But this metal thing, like a metal shelf, makes it so I can't get into it. And so this has some containers and stuff on it. So I want to go through those. See, one, can I let it go? Can this go? Do I have to have this? Can it go to the garage? I mean, my goal is to have the overflow in the garage, right? And then eventually, whatever's there for overflow in the garage, go through and whittle. And here's another one in front of it, kind of. And right now it's just a heap with books. And like I have a box of Angela stuff that I want to use in art. So I took off the top row. So and ones I know I want, I set aside. But I really should sell stuff. I mean, honestly, that would be fun interacting with people. But it's a lot of work, to be doing art, managing my mental health and physical health, working 40 hours, driving, commuting, let's just say 2 hours a day. I mean, it's not always that, but let's just say. And YouTube. But, there is stuff I'm going to keep. But what I can do is I have a whole extra bookcase right now, and I could, in my library, I could put things there that I think I could sell. And then, once the decluttering is just down to a regular thing, that's something to think about. It'd be fun to put it together and interact with people. So I don't know. We'll think about that. I wonder if I could sell that through here. That'd be better than managing like eBay or Etsy. So anyway, yeah. And then there's a round table here. So what I want to do is clear off all the tops. And then like I have a big long, like the things you can put gift wrapped in and put under your bed. So what I had been using that for was the coffee dyeing kind of thing, coffee staining, because it gave me a nice, put newspapers and a nice place to lay my papers. But what I've done right now is I've just thrown anything that I'm interested in right now in it. So that way I don't have to separate it, but I know where to look, right? And then so much fun to, if you think, oh yeah, I remember that, but then you find something else, that sparks something. So it's all good, it really is. But I have books I want to go through with you guys. And they're good books. I'm not even sure. These are all phenomenal stuff, right? Made into my house is phenomenal. But not all of it has to stay in my studio. So that's the thing. So this whole thing is full of books, right? So my idea is I'd like to have that top available to put my, that thing, of all the good stuff. So, and then the big Herculean task is, well, right here by my desk are all these, gosh, y'all, all these empties, right? So right away, all that today is going to go to the bathroom, the cat bathroom, and they'll be right there in front. So actually I need to take out some paper, some cartons, to pack up stuff in. It'll all be right there so I know where to look. I need to clear that area. So there's my desk. So right here, there's a bunch of stuff. So my goal is to give me some more space there. So here's my desk. I have some IKEA shelving, like cool drawers. I can't really get into other than the first two because my desk is too tight. I'm going to move the desk. I moved that desk once. I moved it away from the bookcase. So I don't know if I can do it today, but my goal, because I need my spaces to work, right? I don't need some great shelving I can't get to. So yeah. And there's a couple, yeah. So I want to move it. I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 inches. It doesn't have to be a lot, but I want to be able to get in there and pull drawers and that kind of thing and walk in between. So, but I have to have this area done. So that's the goal. Whether I achieve it, I mean, I would like to have that finished by the end of Monday because I'm trying really hard not to put stuff off. That's hard, right? Like this is hard, but it's the key that's going to make everything else work. Who wants to come on over and help me do that? God, just think it's like 10 of you who really like watching me and have, and we're talking and you reach out to me. And if you were here and we could do that, would be so much fun. Anyway, but I have switched my thinking in there. I do feel overwhelmed sometimes because it's a daunting task in a way, but everything in there I brought, I love. I'm blessed with abundance, y'all. I'm finding really cool stuff. I'm finding memories. I'm finding, all these great cards my friend sent me. I'm going to do a whole book just on these things so I can have to look at. And, but yeah, so, and then I thought too, like I could incorporate pictures in them. So I got so many ideas. I really do. I'm so lucky like that, right? Let me write down. There's a thing online you can order photos from called Snapfish. There's a lot of them, but that's the one I use. And then, yeah, I forgot already. Okay, that's okay. And there's some pictures of Angela. And what I want to do is print some out. There's her cousin in England. And let me tell you about her cousin in England. So she, I think, was around Angela's age, give or take. So Angela would have been her last birthday, 84. This woman has such bad osteoporosis or whatever. She's literally like hunched over. And I've never met her. I'm gonna cry. She sent me a card about Angela. And she said she felt like she knew me because I was so important to Angela that it was just part of their conversation. And she just wanted to reach out to me and let me know that. I mean, it hurts, but that's a blessing, y'all. That's a blessing. And how kind of her to do that. So anyway, she's like literally like hunched over. And my friend Beverly, it's gonna be an emotional day. I can feel this. Beverly had gone. So what we'd do is like Beverly and Angela would go on trips and I would stay at Angela's and take care of the cats in the house and that kind of thing. Now, when my mom was alive, it didn't matter because, and she's literally so close to work. But then when my mom died, I had to bring the cats and this and that. But yeah, but I got paid really well. And honestly, it was my money for my house cleaning for the year. So stuff like that. So anyway, so Snapfish. So I have some amazing pictures in my phone. And what I'd like to do is get some printed out. And then there's her friend Angie, and then Pat, and one for Beverly and one for me. So I'd like to get those and put them together in an album or something. I'm not going to overthink it but I just think I'd like to do that for them for the holidays. I just think it's a nice thing to do and they would appreciate it, you know? So many people don't print pictures anymore, or, you know, it's interesting how I don't know if all phones do this or you set it up or not. I'm not sure why it does it, just does it. But, you know, my phone makes little films of stuff and shows pictures. I can't tell you how many times. It's Mimi, my mom, Angela. It's interesting. Sometimes it hurts. Sometimes it's like, oh, yeah, I remember that. But anyway, so that is on the top of my list. And it's been on the top of my list for a year. So that's a thing like I was talking about. Like, what can I accomplish that's done? Like, right? So that's definitely something where, you know, the decluttering and that is an ongoing process. So that's a lot. Beverly would say, you know how much that is you want to do in a day? Plus my project? She said, oh my God, you know? But anyway, so I think I'm going to go downstairs after I talk to y'all. I need to eat something and have, y'all, I'm just not drinking enough water. I'm not. And I need to flush. I'd like to lose about 5 pounds. But not in a restrictive way, or my mind will go wild and I will put on 5 pounds. But, you know, I know if I did this 80 ounces of liquid in me all day, I'm not going to be hungry. I'm throwing some cheesies, totally not hungry. But I'm trying to eat for the fact my body needs food, right? And not really have a treat unless I've eaten food. So that's the thing, you know, yeah, with any, so the, I don't know what to call him. Let's just call him Matthew is my new brain guy. But Matt, I said, now, you know, we were talking about the side effects of Ritalin. And so you start small just to see that you don't have a major, like breakout in hives or whatever. And then you build up. So he said, I said, well, you know, I haven't researched it and done all I'm going to do, but like name a side effect. And he's like, oh, I said, as long as it doesn't make me hungry, like that Vyvanse, that was weird. That's not a normal reaction to it. I've been reading about it and that's not a normal reaction. But I still makes me upset and nervous because, you know, I've lost 125 pounds. And it's been, I don't know how long. It's been a long time. And in theory, they would like me, the office, which I don't go to anymore. I think I might have talked about that and not posted it, y'all. So I'll do that. I'll do a story about that. The journey. So they would have liked me to be, you know, I'll be honest with you. I was probably 350 pounds. Now, at that, when you get to that weight, you don't really weigh yourself a lot, right? And because of the time of the surgery, I was like, let's say 330-ish, something like that, 325. Because you have to have 2 weeks of not eating. It's that, I'll just talk about that. But anyway, and now I'm like I was like 242, 243. So, and I've managed to keep it off. And that is the biggest goal, is to keep it off. A lot of people put all the weight back on, y'all. I can't imagine. I can't imagine. But when I took this Vyvanse, and all I know is thinking, all of a sudden, like, why am I wanting to eat constantly? This is weird. Like, it took me to figure out, like, wait a minute. And I think it was 2 weeks, and then I got on the scale, and I put on 6 pounds. I'm like, what is happening? But it triggered a feeling in me that I used to have before the surgery of I don't know how I can stop eating. And I haven't had that, and I mean, tell you, it freaked me out. That's when I immediately got in my car to drive to see the pharmacist. Didn't even call. And I said, what's this? And we talked about it, and he goes, it's a rare side effect, but it's a side effect. I'm like, usually these medicines take away your appetite. No. And he goes, for a lot of people, it does. So anyway. So then I had to wrestle with, you know, I never want to go above 250 ever again in my life, right? So, and I was at like, I was probably 249-ish. So I don't even know what I did now. I can't remember. It's sad. It wasn't that long ago. But anyway, I'm, you know, down to 242. Thank you, God. I mean, that was terrifying, actually. I don't even think I talked about it because I was just terrified. So, but now I'm, you know, I'm thinking about the experience, and, you know, the good thing is I don't know how people put all their weight back on. You must have to work hard at it because the pouch is small. Now it stretches. It's nothing like when I first had it. All right. I'll talk about that guys later. So anyway, and I can't imagine ever saying on, a thing like this, my weight. I've come so far. It makes me so happy that I can say it and I don't have any trepidation, and it is what it is, you know? It's so, I come so far, y'all. I truly have come far. That you have no idea. That is a lifelong struggle. I'm gonna cry. I'm so proud of myself. I am. So, isn't that crazy? Just telling you some of what you weigh make you cry because it doesn't bother you. Anyway, that's life in America. So, I'm all over the place, y'all. We'll see if you notice a difference with my Ritalin. Like Beverly said, I was telling her what Matt said. Oh, do you always, so obviously you talk over people. And I said, well, that's probably not going to change. That hasn't really changed with my Adderall, y'all. Nothing seems to affect that part of my brain. And I said, you know, I talk sometimes an hour to my YouTube friends, and, you know, but he doesn't make comments about anything like that. He was great. He was focused. Like, okay, let me redirect you. Next time I might count how many times he says it. But he's dealing with people with brain issues. And then I can't wait. Hopefully by the beginning of, y'all, what's happening here? I have to have my hair out of my way for my project. But hopefully, then we can start on tweaking my depression medicine. So I'm excited. Yeah. So I'm much more, I hate the word hopeful, but I feel like I'm on the right track. So the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and make an appointment. Well, I see my ENT people next week, and I'm going to ask them for a referral to an internist, see what they have to say. I'll make an appointment with my brother's doctor, because I would like to go in and get that going before I need scripts filled. And he can fill my, he can fill like 3 of them. So that's good. So I'd rather work with him on that and separate it. Yeah. So that's what's going on. So I'm thinking through the studio, and I'm over ambitious on what I can do. So I'm working on being okay with that, like not feeling like you didn't do this and that. What's wrong with you, right? Like negating what I have done, right? So that's a huge paradigm shift for me and seeing, but I'm working on it, and you guys have helped so much. You know, Beverly's like, okay, what did you do today? And you feel what, you know? So that's why it's nice to have, Matthew asked me, like, how's your social support? I said, excellent. No problems there. I got lots and lots of support. So, and that's a gift you give yourself. It really is. But anyway, so in the studio, to think this through, you guys. Well, I think one of the first things to do is to go through the books, at least the ones I've pulled off already, and make some decisions, right? They're good books, but that's okay. I'm going to keep them. If I have the space, I have the space. Let go of things that don't really matter to me to make room for what does, right? So now, like I said, I have, I think, 1 extra shelf available in the library. So that's kind of where I want to keep things I'm thinking about. I might sell one day or do whatever, or give away or whatever. So I think I want to do that. And then I want to bring everything from up here, and it's not as much as it used to be, downstairs. And then what I've been doing is when I bring a bag downstairs and stuff, I put it in the general area where I think it should go. So if I do that, And then what I need to do is, so if I go through that one bookcase and see the containers, if there's just stuff I don't need, and then some of the things that are kind of edging out are like a box of stationery things, like anything I consider like stationery in a box. I love that stuff. And then, a box of stickers. So I know that can go in another direction. So when I can get to this red storage, I have so much more storage space, right? So I can divide the stationery stuff up to like index cards, labels. I especially love stationery stuff you can get that's old from like a thrift store. Oh my God, I love that. So yeah, so it's like one of these, it's so funny because my brain can think this through. Like I can totally make order out of chaos. It's just I can make chaos out of order. And that's the part that I'm trying to monitor more. And like, so instead of bringing bags of stuff that I really want to use downstairs and leaving them there and not knowing, I'm just quickly sorting them, right? So yeah, so if I can get those cleared up, then that gives me so much room. And I think I'll measure. And then so what I have to do is when I have to move my chair, which is Herculean, I have to get everything against that bookcase gone, put the empties away, move everything out, get that away, and then move my chair. And then I have to take everything off my desk. So I can take all that and put it in a bag. And I have this really cool old metal storage thing. That's the harder one to move, but I can like kind of shut it and move it that way. I have a cart. And I have all kinds of fun doodad things, but then I can think about it before I put it back. Now, the hardest thing is under my desk. Y'all, actually, I'll take a picture of this. I have this huge, somebody fruit comes in, like a paper cardboard crate kind of thing, full of stuff. And I've been adding stuff to it, but one day I will go through that and I will just die. I'll be so happy. So there's a bunch of crap under there, but you know what? I need to look at that too. So move that, look at that, try to clear it out. So I have like paper towels, stuff like that, but I don't need them all there if they don't fit, well. Or I could put what I'm not using in a bag, a clear bag, so it's easier to maneuver. So yeah, that's a really good idea. I think this part has to happen before other stuff goes on. And then move it so I feel comfortable right there. And I have a place for my phone to be charged up and I couldn't reach it and that kind of stuff. So I need to do that. And then redo everything and weed. And then I'm still working big, going small. But yeah, and I realized everything behind my desk has to go and change. But it's a work in progress, right? You don't know until you're using it. Oh yeah, that works. That doesn't work. I don't need this, that kind of thing. So that's what's going on in my head. Maybe, I think what I'm going to do is do that Monday morning because my project's a little physical and my only goal today is to finish that and feed my body and drink water. So that might be, that's where I can think, okay, wait a minute. Yes, I'm excited to go in my studio and be impulsive. I would be impulsive and just start doing that when I need to do this. So thank you, brain, for catching that. But see, talking to y'all helps me talk through some of my impulsivity, though I can't talk to you all day. Yeah. Time is it? Yeah. That is what I'll do. If I have energy later, so my project, stuff for the Goodwill, number 1 and 2. Yeah. Okay. And then I might not even bring anything more down there until I do that. But my goal to have that done by Monday is a good goal. To do that first thing Monday morning might be the best goal. To think about that. Yeah, but I won't do it before I do my secret project. But I love doing all this, actually. I love it. So, sometimes I look and I think I'm so overwhelmed. And I think, okay, overwhelming yourself sometimes is, it keeps you stuck. And it's like, oh, I can't do anything. It's too much. And I know that's got to be challenged, of course. But, talking to you guys and thinking through everything helps me a lot. And that's what impulsivity takes away from me. And not having patience. I can give you an example. I don't know if I've said this before. We all go to the bathroom, right? Number one, number two, but sometimes, and I read this somewhere that someone was talking about, and I thought, oh my God. So I'm going number one, I will almost start to wipe before I'm finished. That is how my brain works. So let's wipe and get on with it. Okay. So that is a very easy one to know and try to change. You would think that would be smart, no. But it's just how the brain can be and get you to do things that don't make sense. Really, why would you wipe before you're done? I mean, it just doesn't even make sense. So, but that's how it is, and I didn't even realize I did that. I mean, I know I do it in the moment and what are you doing kind of thing. Y'all, I need a tissue. It's so funny. I'm surrounded by paper, and literally sometimes when I'm going to write, I need to write something down. I feel like I can't find paper. So anyway, that's an example. So that's the studio in my plans. And then the library right now is more of a hotspot, putting things in. But I do want to do all the tchotchkes because then I can put some of my journals and stuff in this dollhouse. So that's going to work for me. And then I'm excited to get in there too with y'all. There's such fun, good stuff, right? And I still have a bunch of children's books to go through, my first sort. But that's not my priority. Yeah, so that makes sense. And I'm going to think about what I'm doing, My whole point of going to the library and getting started was to find photos. Let me show you. So Jane Chip uses, and if you follow her on Instagram, you'll see her uses of photos are amazing. And she uses real stuff like handwritten letters. That's something I really don't have that I would like is older, not turn of this century, turn of early 1900s. That kind of thing. But I knew that we have all these photos. My mom is like a photo hound. And there are people who I don't know who they are. So let's do this. I have zero idea other than they're from Minnesota. But look at this. Isn't that great? So I'm going to use it in my art. I'm going to alter it because here's the story. You can buy stuff like this. It's expensive, but I'm always on the lookout if I'm in an antique place because sometimes if they're damaged, and I prefer them damaged, and so that kind of thing. But so one of the reasons I did, now this, I know who this is. This is Donna Gatewood, and she was one of my babysitters, my main babysitter. How awesome is that going to be? But mostly my mother, so this was my grandma's book. It says, Liz, what a figure. Ha. But I, put dates on everything, you guys. But I have no idea who she is. She's not somebody who is like an aunt or uncle to my mom or, and this one, Betty. So, wait a minute. And I love the small sizes, y'all. So what I did is I thought, you know what? My niece and nephew are going to have no interest other than once looking at an old picture. So I separated out who I know's family, even if I don't know who they are. And my grandma had done a pretty good job of organizing. She just did not write. You don't think about it in the time, right? Now, this was from my mom. This was the class play. She's not in it. But how awesome is that? I might color copy this and have him use him. I just love his pointing. So yeah, so I've spent time going through this, and I don't know who these people are. I don't know who this baby is. So on the back, so sometimes, whatever the heck they used in these things, this would have been from my mother's. I don't know. I can't read the name. 6.5 months old. Don't know who this baby is. So what my niece and nephew, I don't want them to have to deal with this. And, somebody, let's just say I die in this house and they will have someone come in, an estate person, and, buy stuff from them, right? Or having a sale or whatever. So this is Dan 10, Gary 8. No idea. So I sorted out the people that I think I know, and then I thought, why am I gonna go buy? This is so much more fun, right? Somehow these pictures I made, and then on the back, Dorothy P as Hildegard. You know what? I will do my best to preserve that writing. But I love these smaller sizes, like compared to like that. So, yeah. And then I took my mom, had a scrapbook of all her classmates. And this is my mom's writing, so I will save that. So, yeah, so I have a whole box, and I have a bunch of it now. So now I don't even have to go buy this stuff, right? Isn't that amazing? Now this one, it says duck. It says lost her false teeth. Like my grandma came up with such funny things. Now this could be, in theory, maybe it could be some in my grandma's book is from her parents' generation, like their friends and that kind of thing, which is really cool. But I don't know who they are. I have no idea. So I can make up stories. We are something, and I think that she used a silver pen and it's faded. It's just that little glimmer of her writing I will incorporate. And I can't tell, and sometimes on the back things were written, but you can't, whatever the heck they used, you can't get, that could be my grandmother. I can tell by her face. So anyway, I'll probably not, But anyway, how neat to use these things, right? Like, look at this. This is Aunt. Mom wrote Aunt. June 1971, standing in the headwaters of the Mississippi River, Itasca Park, Minnesota. Love it. She could be standing in someone's head. Look at this little cute girl. Carolyn Elisa Rice, taken November 1963, 7 years and 8 months old. She cute. And this guy and his dog, Uncle Ted and Sandy, 1965. Our backyard. So I don't know who wrote this, right? Mom just wrote Uncle. So anyway, I had begged her to go through, but you do what you want to do. She didn't have to, But y'all put dates on things, years. Goodness me. So that's exciting. Like that's going to go where I know it is. So yeah, so I don't have to go now and, but when you're thrifting, which I don't do very often, but occasionally it's fun and you look for like damaged photos. Y'all, you have people you don't know who they are, just mail them to me. So yeah, so that's been fun. And then I have all these really interesting pictures of family. So what I'm going to do is, I want to write on the back who I think they are. And I got to get hold of my cousin Luann. I texted her. She didn't text me back. So I wonder if her number changed. I don't know, y'all. I'll have to say this at the beginning of the video because I think some of her family watches. Have Luann text me because I want to send her pictures in because she's on my grandpa's side of my mom's dad, but my grandma was her godmother, right? How lucky was she? She had the best godmother. I have a great godmother too. I need to call her. And then on my grandma's side, there's my mom's cousin Norma, who I need to reach out to Norma because she'll know too. Like I said, I think I said this before. There's one of my grandma's soul friends. That's all I can say because they're always together. I'd love to know her name and her story. So I do want to do that. But yeah, so that's what's going on. A lot. And I'm looking, like Beverly said, if you can do this and your brain's different, I know. There's like recall takes longer. There's some things I just don't remember. I feel slower in my brain, like I'm shifting gears. It's harder, but I'm thankful that still I've managed to move forward, right? That's, and for a while there, it really would upset me terribly. I couldn't even do my channel. It just set off all these emotions in me of being vulnerable and all that ends up to me being a homeless person. My parents, anyway, early life, my mom, I always, when my dad died, I just felt like, doom everywhere. And like my mom and I were so, struggling. And I think about that, and we made it through the grace of God. Like, why do I think that's going to change now? But also a lot of it, my mom was with me, so this is a whole nother challenge. And the saddest thing I had the thought today is my friend Beverly is older than I am. I don't know how much, let's say 18 years older, 15, something like that. So she technically will probably be gone by the time I have to deal with Social Security and retirement. And doing that without her is upsetting. So anyway, we're going to work on that maybe next summer and have her start teaching me stuff, so I have an idea what the heck's going on. Or she can send me someone from where she's at. I said, when you go, you're going to be very busy helping me. So yeah, that's what's happening. I'm slowly getting caught up on comments. And, one of the projects I want to do, and I'm not doing it yet because it's really not necessary, but I'm going to get literally almost every marker I have. I cannot say I have them all together, but I'm going to get all of these together. I took a bunch to work one day at lunch and just checked them and got rid of all the ones that didn't work and figure out where the hell these things are going and how am I going to use them. And I don't need everything up here. We're going to work on this green cart. Hopefully Monday, that's one of my goals. I have everything out of it, so I just have to sort through and decide what should be there, what shouldn't. And then when I get my table cleared, which I hope is the end of day Monday, I'm going to give it a good scrub. I'm going to do what I believe Barbara suggested, is get one of my mom's lovely tablecloths. And then I'm going to put the puzzle wheel, and I might start a puzzle. Yeah. I ordered, it's weird, it hasn't come yet because I ordered that a while ago. It's an advent calendar, so each day you get one little box to put together. Now they had some that you can make a whole picture, but I like the ones that have individual little scenes and then together they're a thing. So I'm going to have a place for that. But yeah, that's what's happening, y'all. Thank you so much for, being here and supporting me, and the energy you send me is so important. I'm just truly, that gives me a grateful heart every day. And you guys who don't comment or, aren't set up with a Gmail account where you feel like you can do, those kind of things, I'm glad you're here too. It's just been nice to get to know you. And I appreciate people sharing their stories. And, again, it's almost like with this Louise Fletcher talking about art, and what people are drawn to in art is authenticity. Not everyone, of course. Some people want, whatever, a picture that matches their sofa, which is fine. But, and she said when you do mark making and you're creating and you let go of an end result and you experience the process and the moment and your intuition and, out of your head and into just that, that's authentic, right? That brings something that people are attracted to and recognize. So that's what, I try to do with my channel, right? Is I don't want to pretend. Who is it that was watching? And they just do Trader Joe's. And I just thought, what's their life like? Where do they live? Like, what do they like to do? Now, that's not what they're willing to share, and it's not important to them, and that's fine. But like I said in the beginning, I was going to do just Dollar Tree and Trader Joe's, right? Two of my favorite things. And then it kind of morphed, and I don't know, it's because of the pandemic, and it just became a place to share and talk. And yeah, so being authentic, it's honestly, I'm just having this thought right now that I think one of the reasons I've made so much stride and am working on, loving myself and not judging myself harshly is because of this channel. Working on sharing. That has changed my life, really. I think 100% it has. So that's amazing. And likes and subscribers and all that's great, but nothing can compare to that. Nothing. So thank you guys. I do appreciate it. From the bottom of my heart. and hopefully we'll have many years together. And yeah, it's weird because there'll be people who comment, and I like to see their name, and I just get a little, little heart, little thing. And then for whatever's going on in their lives, they don't. Who knows, right? So it's a new sensation for me, because I become, it's like, I worry about them. And I'm letting that go, right? Like, be happy in the moment. Things come and go, and not make anything a negative, like, oh gosh, did I do something they don't like, or am I born? You know what I mean? Like, and I can get in that headspace quickly, but I don't really do it as much here. So I think, and that has started, because if you do that on this channel or get upset I've had very few negative comments that I consider negative. That will just absolutely ruin your life, And I've listened to YouTubers who, you have 100,000 people, you're attracting a lot of different people. And, I've seen YouTubers talk just about the negativity and this and that. And so you can say, yeah, it doesn't bother me, but you have to like, no matter what, you're human, you have an initial reaction, and then you let it go or stew on it, or, whatever it is you do. And so I don't really have that. So I think this is a good progression for me, that, it'll be interesting when that happens to see what that's like. But, switching to the process and learning about myself, as opposed to, why is this happening? Or, is a different mindset switch. And I am so excited that I've made the strides I have. And I'm like, really, for the first time in a while. And if it took this sort of lack of medication and instability and bringing up all this darkness from me and all this drama, to be really aware of that, and to really, it's had me shift. Because I can remember thinking, when I had this, like, crying literally all day, right? And I didn't want to take anything. I just wanted to be with that and experience it and let it go. But I really think at the end of that, the next day I was so exhausted. But it was quiet day, and thinking about, okay, here I am, literally have done everything humanly possible, and then beyond that. And it was so wild. Like, Beverly was like, I'm like, this is so bizarre and crazy. It makes no sense. There has to be a message. There has to be something I'm supposed to learn that I'm not focusing on. I mean, that's the only control you can have, right? It's like, what can I do? I can't make CVS give me my drugs. I can't my doctor write the way it should be written. Or, one of the reasons right now I have to switch from Adderall to Ritalin is the last doctor I talked to, who she was supposed to be writing a letter to my insurance to let me get that 90-day supply of real Adderall, sent in a prescription for generic Adderall that I didn't even ask about, did not want, did not talk about. And I wasn't paying attention. And I got, like, usually all my prescripts renew at the same time. So we can talk about that later. And didn't even realize I had gotten it until I was in my room like 2 days later and, rearranging and, getting rid of bottles and that kind of thing. And I remember thinking, holy crap. And then I tried to, like, ignore that. But so here we are, and I can't get it till January. So, okay. Maybe Ritalin's going to be better for me. Maybe I wouldn't, because I got so freaked over Vyvanse, I didn't really want to try anything else. But maybe it's going to make a difference. And maybe I would not have taken this path had this not all happened, right? So you try to, at least I try, because the world makes zero sense, right? Let's just start there. There's literally, we try so hard to make a rhyme and reason out of things, but what's going on now in the world, and it's just not what's happening in the Middle East. You name a country, children are exploited, women are exploited, people are slave labor. I mean, it's just really, I can't. It's like, oh. So this isn't changing. This isn't, and as Matthew, my new brain guy said, the Adderall situation is about big pharma and insurance, and it's not going to change anytime soon, because it's not like they're missing something and they're producing it and now it's good. It's not going to be like that. So I'm really hope Ritalin is good enough, right? That it helps enough. And that my part of it is, the resting, the trying to not eat foods that excite my brain in a negative way, or, so I really I've slowed down, I'm taking breaks. So I think maybe this will, the totality of my life, because you never know, right? That this will be a major miracle, and that is how I am trying now. I don't know why. I don't know that, and I mean to you, I had a breakdown. Like for me, I mean, it's not like I had to be hospitalized or, but I would harm myself. I wouldn't do that. Thank God, my brain's not like that. But it was really, really frightening and scary and isolating, and and at the end of the day, you can have all the support and love and encouragement, but it's within you, right? To accept it, incorporate it, work on it. But honestly, my biggest lesson, I think, and growth tool is to not be hard on myself. That I am so hard on myself that it's so normal that I don't even realize the damage that does to me on a daily basis. And I do now. So I think that's the gift of literally giving myself a break, or loving myself and appreciating myself. And that is, why is that a challenge? But it is. When my therapist, my great therapist would say, if you're asking why, you're not working. He goes, people like to look at that and it keeps you feel like you're busy and you feel like you're doing something, but really you're spinning in the same little circle. How, right? How do I move forward from this? How do I live with this? How, that is the work. So I learned so much from my therapist, you guys. I can't even describe to you. That was another miracle. So, yeah. So this could be my biggest blessing. And there's a story, and I always say it wrong, and especially because it's okay. My brain doesn't remember everything it used to. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. Is that, So I can't recall. Y'all, I talk about books all day with people, right? And I am becoming much calmer about when I cannot remember the damn title of something. Or, okay, so one of my jobs, y'all, this is going to be just a long ass video, right? And I'm sure only my core people are still here, so that's awesome. But so I send books to people at home, and it's my favorite thing to do. I love it. And like I said, my oldest is 99. My youngest is probably like 82. But it's so much fun, and to get to know them, and I check in on them and make sure, and I what I do is I put stickies on every cover so they can give me feedback, right? Because how do you know, right? And sometimes my one lady, she's awesome. She's like, not in the mood for this, or, and listen, I have, if you're offended that someone doesn't want to read a book you pick, you're like in trouble. And I try things with her, and you know what? And there's one lady now, she can only do large type, and that limits me. And she's like very sort of specific. She's probably my most specific person, that really is a pickier. And she can only do large type now, so it's challenging. And so I said to her, I'm going to have to send you things that I normally wouldn't have sent you if it wasn't large type, because I'm limited. I said, but you never know. You may find like a lighthearted thing or cleanse the palate in between. But anyway, it's so much fun to think about and try to figure out. Okay. One person I put the wrong person's name, and it went entirely to my lady who only listens to CDs because she's legally blind. And then this person's like, my books didn't come. I'm like, what's happening? So I did that. And then, look, I am pretty good about not repeating things with people. I've done it twice. Now, I've been doing this for quite a while, and these are 3 mistakes I made, and that's pretty amazing, actually. So yeah, it's like that, like laughing at myself instead of being like, I sent what? But I did catch myself because I had literally sending someone a book they had just returned. And it's just I have 6 people I'm juggling, right? Plus a couple friends, customers, myself, you know. So anyway, it's not, and again, nobody's dying. I'm not a nurse. I'm not a doctor. I'm not making any kind of terrible. I'm not an insurance person or, you know, Social Security who's denying people what they need to live. So I'm actually a little bit curious about it right now instead of feeling like I was in judgment of myself. Like, what the hell? Like, that equals homelessness? What? So, yeah. Anyway, but it's such joyful. I love it so much. It's, so the person that is large type has now given me a list of names. But what makes me most happy is there's a name on there of an author that I chose this book for her because I knew she never had read her, and she liked it enough, and she doesn't remember that, but now she's listed someone she wants to read. It made me feel so happy. It's the little things, right? You know, it's like you can't change the world, but you can reach out and, you know, maybe make a little difference to someone, and that if we all did that, then that changes the world, right? Yeah. So I've been a little bit off Instagram. It's just so upsetting. And I just can't scroll past stuff like that. And, you know, oh, and here's a great art project, you know. So I go on a little bit. And I wish I could say to Instagram, I don't want any, you know, just can you filter this out? But it doesn't work that way. And then, you know, there are people at work who obsess about everything and read it. I'm like, somebody who started to talk to me, I said, let me tell you something. This is painful for me and it causes my nervous system issues. And what is this passive aggressiveness about? I've asked you, you can talk to whoever you want to talk to. I personally asked you not to do it and you're doing it. So tell me what this is about. What's happening? Why do you feel the need to upset someone? Why is that funny? Right? I'm not having that. It's just honestly. But it seems to be a problem for this person. But you know, people complain, but I'm like, I say something to the person. Why are you complaining to me and you don't complain to them, right? We can complain about complaining that we did say something and nothing changed kind of thing because human behavior does not change quickly. But anyway, I don't know why I got on that. But yeah, I'm not tolerating that. So anyway, yeah, that's what's going on. I must eat. I guess I think I don't want to start anything till I start my project, and it needs to warm up a little bit. But I'm going to make myself some food. So I hope when I go to Trader Joe's, y'all, on Saturday, those griddle cakes are there. That's probably that and the new creamer I want to try. Y'all, do you follow? It's Trader Joe's Memphis, I think. Oh my God. They did such a good job on was it Instagram? Yeah, it must have been, of like, just showing the new things. I'm like, oh yeah, let me write that. So we'll have to see how this is all going to work. But it works 2 different ways. Like if I'm on my way to work and I give myself a half hour, I have to kind of rush. So, but sometimes rushing makes me, so I'm actually going to try to give myself at least 45 minutes in the store so I can take the time to think about it, right? Just because it's in my cart, y'all, does not mean it needs to come home. Just because things are pop, and I turn my head and look, how did that get it? How does gingerbread people get in that cart? Yeah. We all know how that works. So, but there is, and I'm going to try to write her name down next time. But on YouTube, there's a woman called Grocery Addict. I haven't seen her lately. She literally pretty much buys what's on her list. And I love this. And this is something, you know, I want to cultivate is here's what I want to eat. And again, not saying Monday you're going to eat this. She does that. She has a family. But just say, these are the 3 things you're going to have available to eat this week. Whatever you want. I think that's going to work better for me. And then, but that she buys what she needs pretty much for the week. Sometimes she'll get extra of something. Or there might be something she sees that she really likes, but she thinks about it. And mostly she doesn't get it. So it always interests me when she gets it. And she shows her menu at the end and she'll, you know, and she's very basic, you know, she's got kids are funny, but I love that. And then there's another person, God, what is her name? But so what she does is, I think she's Aldi's too. She's Aldi's, the Grocery Addict, But she takes a picture of everything laid out like on the table, and then she has her grocery list, and she pretty much sticks to that only. So she makes her meal because she's got kids and it's expensive, and I love that. And that's something I want to aim for. I don't know, I'm not going to become that overnight, but I love the idea, because I'm going to have to share a refrigerator and a pantry. The pantry's not a big deal, but the refrigerator and the freezer are a big deal. So, I mean, I haven't been eating much because I just have been anxious. I was so anxious leading up to this appointment. I was shocked at how anxious. I'm like, well, this has been a big deal for you. You literally had a breakdown, okay? This is a big deal that you find someone that can help you and knows what they're doing. And what a miracle, I found someone. And he's very, he's not going to find me charming or funny. That's not, he's very linear, and that works for me. And, but he asked thousands of questions, and he asked me a question, are you moody? And I thought about it, and I thought, well, we all have moods, right? But I was thinking of people who I think are moody, and I'm like, no, I'm not like that. Like, especially with other people and work, I'm pretty even keel, I don't like, they're going to say, oh, she's in a bad mood. Like, I've been quieter lately because my brain has dictated how my brain's tired. I can't engage, right? I'm not going to spend 1 ounce of my energy engaging in a way when my brain doesn't want to. I'm trying to honor my brain. But I thought, no, I said, these are hard questions. I have to think about it. But in general, I would say, other than, yes, I have moods, I don't think I'm moody, like on a daily basis. Like, my mood's not mercurial and change throughout the day, right? It just doesn't. So, was I manic? And I said, well, explain manic. Because, I've gone through my life like where I'm in shape, everything's organized, I don't buy that much. And then I swing to like all of a sudden I spend money, and like not to the level it is right now, but that is truly is my pattern. And I guess it's more about dopamine hits and all that stuff. So I said, well, define mania. And he's like, well, you get a inflated sense of self-importance and worth. I said, no, I am not manic. No. No. Do I have spurts of energy where I do crazy things? Yeah. But that doesn't, if anything, I usually feel bad. So no. So it's interesting, again, this process of people asking you questions, and, I work, therapy is so interesting that when you get ready, for me anyway, unless I'm really something was going on, pull up and I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. What am I doing here? Well, yeah. So I would take notes, and especially as I was having bad moments, I would write it down so I have this as a reference, because your brain is tricky, y'all. So anyway, so it's been interesting. I've been thinking a lot about his questions, but yeah, I'm not manic. I'm not moody. So that's interesting. I'm definitely not bipolar. I'm lucky enough that my brain doesn't, it allows me to take my medicine. Y'all, my friend right now, she got medicine, she's not taking it. And I'm like, and you always start low and go high, right? And I love that he's like, we're going to start you low. I want you to do this for like 3 days. Take this half a dose. Just make sure you don't have any obvious side effects immediately, right? And that's awesome. But I'm like, to her, why is your brain telling you not to take this, right? And I think we do get addicted to feeling a certain way or used to it. So I'm trying to challenge that. I remember my mom and I, like, I'm funny and I'm a storyteller, and it was like, these things always happen to us, right? And I thought, you know what? I told my mom, we're not doing this anymore. We're not talking about all this nonsense, this traumas with my dad and just all this wild, weird shit. I said, this is a book I would not read, a movie I would not watch. I said, we're going to stop that. Everything great happens to us. We're the kind of people that only good things happen to us. Not only good things, but that we are divinely guided. You know what I mean? So when I did that, I do think my life started to change a lot. So I'm really working now on the narrative of my brain and trying to be more curious, like, well, how does it work? And why is this working and that's not working? Or why am I tired today? Or why am I craving today? Like, Did I eat sugar and that's why I didn't sleep good? Or, you know, did I not eat enough and my body's rebelling? So it's interesting to switch to being curious, right? And a lot of the art stuff I've been reading and the teachers is like, be curious, right? Be curious. Don't get in a mindset that this is where you need to be and this is just painful to get there. You're not getting there. And once you switch to curiosity, and I'm not saying I'm not going to have hard times because that's human nature, right? But right now I am really trying to default to when something like the day before yesterday, I worked 4 hours, came home, and I felt so miserable. Like I had the weirdest headache that I can't even describe how this headache. I thought, what is happening? I'm not a headache person. This was weird. And I felt really tired. And that's like, this drug is so strange. I assume it's a drug. I don't know. We'll see. But I think it makes me like speed and then drop, right? There's some weird mechanism not working. But anyway, so I thought, you know what, let's just get home. And honestly, I was driving, I had music blasting, I had cold air blasting because I thought, really, your brain wants to close its eyes. So, I didn't. And, but once I had this session, then it started to dissipate. So yeah, so it's interesting, curiosity, right? Let's all be curious about what we do things, our reactions to things. And, but I'm trying to move into the curiosity part of it. And even like, I was going through my library bookshelf and thinking, okay, I'm gonna let this go. And it's like, I don't want to. I'm like, well, you've had it 6 weeks, you know? I'm like, well, you can have it 6 more. I'm like, well, obviously you're not in the mood to read and you're reading things that, you need, that really do want to try to read. It's like, what's that about, y'all? And I can get it again in a week if I want it. So yeah, instead of being like, oh, what's wrong with you? Why the hell? Just let it go. What the hell, right? No, like, what's going on? Why? What's happening here? Why is it a thing? So yeah, curiosity. And I find myself slipping into that actually a little bit more. I'm really surprised that maybe it's because I've been working my whole life towards this point. So anyway, I was going to tell a story about, it's a Chinese story, proverb, I'm not sure. It's a Buddhist thing. Actually, it said, a man gets new oxen. Oh, aren't you lucky? Well, how lucky. And then his son is driving it and falls and breaks a leg. Oh my God, how unlucky, how terrible, how unlucky. And then the next thing you know, there's a war and people come by to get young boys for the war and he's not taken because he has a broken leg. So you don't know, right? You don't know. And to try to change your mindset that, okay, and I do believe we are on a soul journey, a life's journey. It's more than just about these set of circumstances. That's how I feel. So anyway, but I'm glad our paths have crossed, and I'm going to go because I apparently I need to stop. But thank you guys again, and those of you who made it this far, honestly, put a bunch of flowers in the comments. That would be cool, just to know how many of you guys did make it this way. This long. But what do you think, Clara Johnson? Clara thinks I need a little more food. This girl is so hungry all the time. That's going to be a good thing about being in the studio but the other day I only given her a little bit of food and I meant to give her more. She came down there and was yelling at me, y'all. You can't hide from Clara Johnson. All right, guys, you take care. What's today? If YouTube lets me put this up, and it might be a fight, I may post later my secret project. I don't know, to think about it, how I want to do it. I think it's a 2-parter. Stay tuned for this excitement. All right, namaste, and I will talk to you soon.